the night like an ember, and all those things we tried forgetting I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine. Sunny day dreams and we up now. Vodka lemonade, I served it up, it goes down. 75.
What's up, Ashes family?
Welcome back to another vlog, guys. Day 11 of Vlogmas.
So day 11?
Day 11, girl. It's actually been a minute since we've done an actual Angelina story time. I mean, we did the drawing the other day. I think it was for day 8 of Vlogmas. But today we're going to be actually going through her memory box. And I know we've spoken about it a few times on our vlogs before. We actually haven't showed you some of the most specialist things which are inside her box.
We haven't actually looked inside this box, like, you know, bring out everything and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, we only really see the box when we're packing to go somewhere or something, because we literally take it with us everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everywhere, and it takes up so much rooms in our suitcase, but you know, I'd rather take that.
But without further ado, guys, let's show you some of the very special things within her box. So this is her box here.
It's pink.
It is pink, which isn't actually her favourite colour. Her favourite colour is purple, because I was the one that decided that.
I think her favourite colour is pink.
But this box was actually gifted to us by the hospital, so they're the ones that made it up.
The memory box came with everything that's inside and the photos as well, which were the photos that were already given to us, but you know, they just put it there. So this photo over here, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but this is when she was really tiny. So they put a photo of when she was little, and that's my hand as well that she's holding. That is mine.
We have sorted this.
And this is a photo literally a few days before she passed away.
The reason why I'm laughing guys, is because it's actually my hand.
Babe, it's my hand.
It's literally my hand.
It's my hand.
Look, I got that mark on my thumb. There's a mark on the thumb.
It's my hand. You just didn't shower that day, that's what it is.
So just to show you the photos a little bit closer, guys, hopefully you can see that. But yeah, when Angelina was really tiny, up until she grew up to be nice and fat like her mum.
Let's do this. So I don't know, when was the last time you opened this? So we don't normally open the or look at it, only because, you know, well, for me, I still to this day I can't look at certain things like this. Like the closest I can get to it is photos, but you know, I have to now, so here we are.
The first thing we see when we open up, here's a picture of beautiful baby Angelina. That's one of my favourite photos of her.
Yeah. Skinny as! She has her mouth open like her dad.
Like her mum. Her mum's
Oh,
mouth
you
is
sleep
always
like
open.
that.
Wait, you are awake and asleep like that. Always
Shut
hear you
up.
talking. And
Oof.
this is crazy.
Let's try not to cry while doing this.
So these cushions and stuff were gifted to us from the hospital, so they come with the memory box. We have some cards. Oh, one of her nappies. This is actually, is this one of the smaller ones?
Yeah.
So this is one of her, she didn't wear it, guys, it's clean.
It looks
You know?
big now. Oh
It does
no,
look big.
that's not one of so. This is how tiny the nappy used to be that she used to wear when she was first born.
Sure.
Look. What?
And then she ended up wearing nappies this size, so put them up together. She ended up wearing nappies this size.
No, this
Because
is.
those are even still a little bit smaller.
Yeah, this is smaller. Like, I think this is... No, so this is the first time she wore a nappy, which is this little, and this is the first time where she upgraded to another nappy. But she actually upgraded to a bigger nappy, but we probably didn't get that size.
It was like a normal baby's nappy.
It was literally a normal baby's nappy, because she was pretty fat.
But this nappy is literally tiny. It's smaller than my hand. But I got big hands. Anyway, smaller than my wife's hand. She got big hands too.
Smaller.
Oh, how's about this? This is pretty crazy. So who knows what one of these are?
The struggle is real.
It's my wife's best friend right there.
Literally real. So this is, you know, where I used to pump the milk to feed the baby.
Can you give us a demonstration?
Like, okay. No. Like, literally, like...
So pretty much, for those of you who don't know, cup on your titty, pump, and then the baby gets the milk
fed.
out of this. Yeah. Oh wow, this is crazy. We actually asked for this too. So this thing right here, apologise once again if you can't see. Do you know what this is? Do you remember what it is? What is it now?
That's a suction thing.
Yeah. And she hated this thing. I would hate it too.
I actually know how to do it. So this is how you do it. So you put a straw in, and then you do this.
Yeah,
Oh, no, sorry. But they press this, and then all these things will come up from her nose, or I don't know, her mouth or something.
She used to have the snottiest nose.
And then they pull it, and then they flush it out.
Now there's little Samoan kids that have the snotty nose. She was one of them.
Yeah, your kids.
Yeah, that's from the Samoan side. From the Samoan side. Her brush. Oh, she used to love this brush, right? I used to always brush her hair.
We bought this, I forgot where we bought it from, but we bought it from somewhere. Because the nurses were like, oh, she likes, getting her hair. I don't know, she likes it when they play with her hair. And then so we're like, oh, why don't we buy a brush? And they're like, yeah, do it. So we bought a brush. She actually had a lot of hair for a premature baby.
Now this next thing is probably Angelina's most hated thing in the world. But it was her dummy. This little thing. She hated the dummy, right? Like, would try to put it in her mouth, spits it straight out.
She'd be like, like straight away when you can.
Yeah.
But so sometimes what the nurses used to do, they used to like tie the things over here, like little strings over here, and then they'll put it in her mouth, and so then it will be like a strap going over her head so that the dummy can stay inside her mouth. The reason why they really need a dummy most of the time is because when her mouth is open sometimes, her thingy,
oxygen levels,
her oxygen level, drops, and so then that's why they try to
but not
enemy.
Having it, right? She'll never have the dummy.
But look how tiny this thing is. Another thing, let's see if it still works. It still works. Can I check it?
Oh, ticklish.
Oh, it's negative magic. So we have this temperature thingy. We used to check her temperature with all the time. It was probably one of the things. I think it was definitely the first thing that we learned how to do.
Yeah.
That the nurses taught us how to do, which was cool. We get to do this every time we do her cares.
And another thing with this too is, so whenever you take her temperature, we had to put it underneath her armpit. And because she'll say ticklish, and she'll hard out struggle, or you'll have to force her arm up and close it straight and push it down, and she'll be like this because she's I'd hate someone.
But she knew, because sometimes with her cares, this is the last thing we do. We'll do her nappies, we'll wipe her and stuff, and then this is the last thing we do. So it's kind of like she knew every time that we were going to be checking her temperature. And so then sometimes you're trying to lift her arm and she'll be like this. And then you literally had to
wow.
I'm kidding.
Well, she was mean to her.
I'm kidding.
Like that though.
Get real, was I?
You're pretty mean. She was the hard parent. I'll be like, no, okay, my love, if you don't want to do your temperature.
No, don't be a parent like this. Get away with anything, don't. Anyways, so but this is cool.
So this is where they used to put Angelina's milk in, and so this is where Mo had to put Angelina's milk in, so she'll put it in these little containers, and we'll legit go to the hospital for a stack of 8
10 or something.
Yeah.
And so when I first started, see this line here? So when I first started, my milk literally used to be under that. It was tiny because, I was just starting. By the time Angelina passed away, I was literally filling up the bottles. And so then I had to eventually take the bigger bottles, remember?
Big bottles, yeah.
So the big bottles like this.
A lot of juice up in there, girl. A lot of juice.
Oh, for this child, bro. For this child. That's one thing. While on that, that's one thing I always try and do is if we have babies, can I have another baby?
No.
Is that I'll always try and breastfeed first. But if I struggle with it, then obviously I'll give it to Reg. But So these are another thing that Angelina didn't like as well. I don't think she liked anything, bro. Don't think so these are like little earmuffs. Why did they used to put this on?
It's really noisy in that room. Like, cause there's like a lot of other babies and their machines are beeping and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes she didn't like the noise, and so then she'll like do certain things that the doctors would be like, oh, she doesn't like the noise kind of thing. And so then they'll put this on her ears. But they're sticky though. They're
Put
sticky.
it on your name. This is another little thing that we have is the little strap that they use to take her blood pressure. So they'll wrap this around her arm. Look how tiny it is. Like adults, you have that whole roll that goes around your arm, but she has this little tiny one right here.
Look how cool this thing is. It's one of those pins that clicks to your shirts. I don't know if you can even see it properly, but it's like a heart inside of a bigger heart, and it says, I carry your hearts in my heart. If I ever get a tattoo, this is gonna be
They get a tattoo the day you get another husband,
the
girl.
face of this man, bro.
Next thing was probably Angelina's most favourite thing is this badge here. This says, I love daddy. That was a crack up, so I bought these badges for her. And then we had to buy one for her. I heart money. But it was cool because once we like started sticking up all these little things like badges and stuff, she has this other one that says baby on board. And then the nurses started adding stuff in. So one of the nurses added this All Blacks flag, little poster thing. It was crack up. And then we had some pictures that went up on our cot too. This is crazy, eh? Wow. So we had these pictures.
I don't know why that picture was in there, but...
Because she loved it, that's why. But this thing was actually the very first thing on her cot. So this is her name and all her details pretty much. So it has Mole's name, then it has Angelina's date of birth, as well as time, weight.
Here's another thing. So these are little stockings. I don't know if it's stockings, but these are from, I think these are from the cupboard that's inside that room where Angelina was. And so that's where the nurses used to get, things that they want to dress her up in and stuff like that. And this is how tiny her feet used to be.
Crazy to think that, because when she did pass away, she was like a normal baby. Like she was like huge.
And then you have these hand
mittens. Now this is another cool one. This was something...
That's crazy cool.
So this was Angelina's first pair of glasses. So when she was first born, she had to have this UV light shining on her all the time, just because her skin was really fragile. And to protect her eyes, they used to put this over here like this. Little glasses. So this pretty much wrapped around her whole head, this little thing.
But yeah, so that is all in Angelina's memory box. There's actually some more things, but it's things that we've already shown. So, there's more of these, more of the dummies that she hated.
We hope you enjoyed going through Angelina's memory box with us. We definitely have to go through this more often, since it has a lot of the most important things that sort of helped our daughter out and stuff. But yeah, fam, if you did enjoy going through Angelina's memory box with us, please drop a like on this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can stay tuned for more videos like this where we share memories of our daughter Angelina.
Yeah, but we made it without crying. Well, I made it without crying because I'm forever crying. But anyways, family, there is your day 11 vlogmas. But we shall see you tomorrow. We love y'all.